Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Sunday, the 21st of June, 2026. Risk Neutral Trading, Globex edition. I'm a little bit late. I misjudged my trip by about 5 minutes, so sorry about that. And then I didn't have my mixer up. My Mackie was not working. So here we go. Welcome to Risk Neutral Trading. This is my virtual trading journal. The idea here is that everything that we see on my screens is captured on the video, and I don't even have Bookmap open yet. Wow, I missed it by 10 minutes. I apologize. Anyway, it's captured on the video, and then my voiceover provides insight as to what I was thinking at the moment, and that's how she works. So we got Bookmap coming up now. IRT's up and running. So any session prices are being pushed as expected. And yeah, I'm gonna guzzle a pitcher full of electrolytes. And here we are. Look at there. Isn't that cute? So here is Bookmap. And we're going to get Blue Boy out of bed here and now wake his little self up. This is my top secret indicator that I put on the first print of every session. The theory being that I can spot this guy over here on the left, and that this is the current active inside market, so I know exactly what the session has done and where context is and what's happened with the POC, etc. Now, the main reason I was interested to get this stream up, I actually was not really planning on it, but I got a notice from AMP that they're raising margins to maintenance from 5 o'clock tonight through some unknown period tomorrow. So they're expecting a volatile night, something volatile to happen this evening. So let's see what it is. Now I'm going to be probably still huffing and puffing and drinking and sweating and you know whatever else. Wash my glasses here so I can see. Okay. This is IRT. This is my charting platform, and we got to put this on full session. I hadn't done that. That wasn't a very good idea. And here was, now I scrubbed my data so that the holiday stuff from Thursday night through Friday morning is not in here. I don't push that forward. It screws up my session prices and everything as far as I'm concerned. So let's just get up to speed here now. 1700, 17, okay. I was okay there, all right. What do we got going on over here? No, we want this to be 1700. There we go. One thing about IRT, if you notice in the header of all of these charts, any of these windows, you can see the instrument, the type of chart, the periodicity, and the session. So you always know what you're looking at. Whew. Happy Father's Day to anyone out there that is, or plans to be. So. Okay, glasses are, oh, what are we doing here now? Is this what they're waiting for? Wow. There's a quick 10 points. I'm, checking Waltz Bloomberg and, of course, investing.com won't have anything but financial juice, but I don't see anything, so. And when they send me those updates or those, it's just an email that said caution rates are going to go up to such and such, so they don't say why. And that's okay. Here we go. So this is my virtual trading journal. As I said, the idea here is that I capture everything on my primary trading monitors in the video, and then my voiceover provides insight as to what I was thinking at that moment. That gives the complete recording and a permanent record of my journal. I take no trades off of the stream. All trades are live, real time. There will never be a recording or a replay, ever. So that's important. That's why I'm streaming tonight and these Globex streams, because I'm trying to investigate if there's some interesting opportunities in the Globex orbs, and if there are, and I want to be able to trade them. Otherwise, I would not be able to. What else? Oh yes. So any trades I take are based on vetted, structured, statistically proven setups to have an edge or an expectancy or whatever word you want to call it. So as the market's unraveling here, I can expect when a trade is setting up. If it triggers, I enter. Then I manage the trade. Live, real time, permanent record here on Bookmap. But I'm not intending this stream to be for financial or trade advice. I'm not licensed to provide that, and that's not my intent. This is my virtual journal, and hopefully by sharing it publicly, it could help someone, and also it enforces accountability. Not that I really need it, but if you know that there's people watching you, it's accountability. So also notice that I stream the entire monitor, not just the application. So you can always see any open program, including the session or the system time to the second, the date, and then tie that back to Bookmap or IRT. Okay, what else are we doing here now? Well, they're selling it off, so I guess I should have been short. Right now we're 25 handles in the money. If we'd have just pinged it, hung a short on it. Now that's not any kind of a structured trade that I have. Maybe I better figure one out, but that's where we are. Let's see what else I can do here now. Get going. Boop. 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 Let's hear some music. What do you think? I kind of like blues, so, and classical also, of course. We'll turn on this blues and see what happens. I don't hear this music in my trading desk here, my trading office, because I don't have speakers. I'd have to put on my headset if I wanted to listen. But if for some reason you come by the stream and it's loud or obnoxious, or you want to hear something different, let me know in the chat. That may just get a couple things going here now. I am running behind. I apologize for that. But hey, I'm online and I'm here, so what else you want? And again, this is now the trades that I'm focusing on and developing here in this are the opening range trades. And I guess you know what they are. They are essentially the initial balance, but In my world, they are the same time. They are the first 1 hour of the session, called the opening range breakout, and same thing as the initial balance, but in my vernacular, the initial balance, I kind of reserve or think about that as the RTH session. This is the Globex session, and then it goes from 1700 to 1900, and then we have the Asia session open, so we're going to watch both of those while I guzzle this gallon of stuff. To take advantage of the break in the rain to get the damn grass knocked down here. I do it every weekend, but with the sun, the heat, and this rain we've been having, it's just, I'd be better off getting a couple of cows and just, let them go. So it had been raining all morning. I had to take advantage of this late afternoon. Got dry enough to mow, so that's what we did. Not that anybody cares, but you get the point. That's the point. You said, What are you doing? Why don't you go up or down? There we go. Okay. Now, all right, so let me see. Let's do a couple of things here. There's no real news, of course, tonight, but we are looking forward to something. And I don't see anything tomorrow either, so there's something else that's precipitated this increase in margin. And I'm assuming that it's got to do with this Iran thing. Boy, what a mess, huh? And just think, 4.5 months ago, there was no issue in Iran, the Straits of Hormuz, the Middle East, in terms of helium, fertilizer, oil transporting through the Straits of Hormuz. Nothing. There was no problem whatsoever. That's worth remembering. I think it's really, really worth remembering. It's kind of like a fire, a person, what do you call a person that lights fires? I forgot. Anyway, kind of like a person lighting a building on fire and then getting a fire hose and putting it out and bragging about what a big deal they made. Well, if you didn't light the damn thing on fire first, you wouldn't have anything to put out. That's I think that's an important note that I think everybody ought to remember. And I'm pretty sure that nobody will. News cycle's too short. The spin is too hard pressed. So let's take a look at financial juice here, and you'll notice really nothing going on today. I mean, there, in Asia there will be, but we've got a lot of stuff coming out of China. Colombian leftist Cepeda trails 47.9% of the vote. 1/3 of the ballots counted. Right wing, that's a bad idea. Well, yeah, you get a right wing guy there in Colombia, you got a lot of problems on your hand. Some stuff here from a diplomat about the conflict prevention in Lebanon. What I heard earlier over the weekend was that Iran had shut down the Strait of Hormuz because Israel was doing what everybody had suspected on Friday, trying to tip over the deal by escalating attacks and and stuff in Lebanon. Whether that's what this is based on or not, I don't know. But I thought it was worthwhile watching here, and I wish I just was Johnny on the spot to go short real fast, and now I'd be up a whole bunch of stuff and pretty happy. So let's get on with the normal thing here. I don't see anything. Oh, I'll tell you what let's do. Here's tomorrow. This is investing.com. It's my usual old-fashioned news source, and I like it a lot because I like the presentation for screen snapping to like Discord or somewhere. And it is, they focus on traditional economic numbers and reports. FOMC, non-farm payroll, PMI, that stuff. And if you notice that any of the event titles turn into a URL if you hover over them with your mouse, so if you don't know what ECB Lane Speaks is about, that's a bad example. You don't know what, they're all Fed talkers. Anyway, if you don't know what anything's, here you go, CPI is about from Canada, you can click that link and find out all about it. The other news source that I use is Financial Juice. And I kind of like it for a different reason, the opposite reason that I like investing.com, in that if some event is scheduled, which everybody knows could present risk to our auction, Trump's going to suddenly have a speech about, a press conference about something. Not that there's anything wrong with that or that's anything political comment at all, but in this day and age, we are essentially, as traders, we're essentially risk managers. Your fundamental job as a trader in this day and age, or this present environment, is to preserve your account. The only way you're going to preserve your account, the fundamental way, is risk management. Well, if you don't know of a potential risk to the auction, how can you manage it? So I appreciate when they pull something in here that could have an effect. And of course, they don't catch them all. Trump tweets something on Truth Social, who knows, about 3 months ago, Friday morning, 10 o'clock, Truth Social tweet, market sold off 229 points. Out of no place. Nothing you could do about it. And it turns out it was all fake. I mean, what Trump was complaining about had not happened, and he did not do what he said he was going to do. So essentially, it was a nothing burger. But the market was ripe and ready, and when the fear hit and the algo started selling, down she went, 229 points. Well, there you go. So that's what Financial Juice is about. And then on the right side over here, it's more of a squawk box, which is kind of nice. And there's kind of a running total of what's going on with the time. So you can sort of see if there's any, if there's some big drama, which I don't see. Well, there you go. It'll be, here you go. Iranians must immediately halt proxies in Lebanon, or U.S. will restart assault on Iran. Here you go. And this was at 8:30 this morning. Oh. Israelis or Iranians? Iranians. Well, why? Maybe. Well, okay. Yeah. So there you go. Let's see what else we have cooking over here now. Oh yes. So, my eyes are doing the weird thing here. Get some liquid. Okay, I'm probably forgetting something, and if so, I apologize. All right, I know one thing that's pretty important, and I think you would probably agree. If we're going to be able to trade in Bookmap, you must activate the trade control panel by clicking this padlock. And you notice it's right here. Then you select an account and you pick the, in this case, I'm not using multi-brackets, I'm using the trade control panel. 5 accounts, 5 This is a different scenario. That's one of the reasons I'm using, doing something else I'm doing now and using these Lucid accounts. I'll explain about that in a minute, but let me keep going here. Then you can, once you've selected the account, and or if you're not using multi-brackets, if you know the size or your lot size, you can click the button again. It stays green, padlocks open, and you get all the real estate back on your screen. Plus you get all the, I have all these metrics visible on the top. You can turn these off or on. That's not a default thing. Plus you can get cancel and close all. So essentially ready to trade. But now I need to do something in the back office over here, which is make sure the trade statistics are on the right journal. And that multi-account trading is on, because that's the whole point of this exercise. Okay, now the reason I'm doing this Lucid multi-account trading story, I needed to de-risk. How do you de-risk from 2 micros? Well, you can't, and be able to trade any kind of a risk neutral methodology like I use. So, and I'm also testing the hedging methodology for risk management to be substituted for the stop. Not ever do I trade without a stop or something at that stop location. In this case, a hedge. Ever. So that's, that is, and I never move my stop away from entry. So there we go. And with using the Lucid accounts, I can trade meaningful size. I can do this investigation. It is the cheapest or the most safe ROI, return on investment, and it's the minimum risk, right? I can trade a large size. Plus, there's the upside. I get payouts. So typically, I trade my live AMP account right here, but the Lucid accounts are live, and it's for money. So here we are, and it's the live market, and it is rhythmic. There are valuations at this point, I guess, so it isn't really live, but it's a live trading environment. And for example, part of the hedge is a scale in of 2 orders of 5 lots each. And the other day, the second order hit, and I only got filled on 2 of them. So I only was carrying a load of 7, a position of 7 contracts instead of 10. So it's, it's really alive, and it's really rhythmic, and fills are. What's up, beautiful little girl? There's a beautiful little Asian princess here. What's going on? Oh, yeah, you want to, yeah, I'm awful sneaky. Be careful. I know. Thank you. Oh, my little girl. What a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Really lucky. Fortunate we are. Okay, and that took a lot of courage for her, because she doesn't like bad smells, and I've been out working hard, so I'm pretty sure stinking up a storm here. I appreciate it. Okay. I think I'm up to speed. Let's see here. What are we doing? We've got the 2-lot package on. All right, let's keep going with the trading ideas. Now, as I said a minute ago, I don't take any setups which are not statistically verified to have a positive edge. That's the methodology that I believe in. And it's essentially approaching trading as a business based on statistics and probabilities, not gambling or a video game. So what I have done is, the way you approach that, as I believe and understand, you identify a setup that happens frequently. You identify the criteria which validate an entry for that setup, and then you capture it statistically significant data set and determine mathematically if it has a positive edge or expectancy or not. So that's what I do. And if so, then you trade them. And I do all the homework and, you know, capture the data myself here. Now, having said that, oops. I'm going to get you back over here. This is IRT. As I said before, these are the micros. And these are, these are the minis, I'm sorry, and these are the micros. Make sure this is doing what I think it's doing. Yeah, okay. All right. Make sure you gotta scrub. I had to scrub the holidays, so. So this is IRT, and this is where I do the back testing and all of that. Now, previously. And the way this works is, this is, for example, this is an initial balance trading system. Goes long or short, off the IB high or low, and does trade management to contract. This chart is just a visualization tool so that I can see if what I expect to be happening is happening and when I expect it to. But this is the stuff that the computer will just evaluate every one of these rules every 30-second bar. And I can backtest it. Then I can get that data and I can determine if statistically if there is a positive expectancy or an edge or whatever word you want to use it. But it's really important to know that any trades that are taken or visualized here in these charts in IRT are in the IRT simulated environment. They're forward testing, not being pushed to the Lucid or my Epoch. I want to be sure. And this is the current one that I'm working on, which is just going to shut all these off. I just have rebooted this thing. So here's the this is the edge flow. Now this was the opening range trade Thursday, and here we are now. And why? I gotta see what's going on here. I got something out that I'm not sure about. Yeah, okay. These should be gold. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay, I gotta make sure each one of these is shut off properly. Okay, anyway, so this is, and what this is based on percentages, and where this has come from now is a new tool I'm using called Hedge, which is right here, and I don't think I even have it open yet. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to, what is all this? I think I need a 5-day course. Let's see. So let's look at our opening range trade, and we need to set up our zone to be correct here. Wait a minute, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. So Here is the standard report. For this period of time, this session, these are the probabilities that of the various break of the opening range. And then we're going to start drilling into them. Well, we've already got past 30 minutes, so we're getting pretty close, actually. The first thing that's important to note is, with this opening range trade, which formed first? Well, the first was the opening range high, right? There we go. And now the opening range low followed suit. That's important. Could change within the next 30 minutes, but that's what we have so far. And a real handy tool that comes as part and parcel to Hedgeful is TradingView, and you've got you got something, but I don't see anything here. Where's that one to the damn chart? There we go. Okay. So these indicators here, if you subscribe to Hedgeful, you get all of these indicators free for TradingView. Pretty handy. I had never used TradingView, but it's pretty cool. And something that I want to do now is I want to put the, wait a minute, that's the wrong one. I want to put the dashboard up here in the upper right corner. So far our opening range is 23 3/4 points. The opening range high was formed first right there. The opening range low is down here. Now this doesn't filter out. This has got, you know, Friday, Thursday, and Friday morning and all that, which is unfortunate. I don't know anything about filtering stuff like that out in trading, but we can just go with what we got. Opening range high, opening range low. Here we are so far. Now we'll just see how the day, and these are 15-minute candles, something I was experimenting with. Okay. Okie dokie. Now these you'll see as we start looking at the Hedgeful reporting, whichever level formed first and where the closing candle is at the end of the orb session and stuff is all real important. Now I'm not sure that I'm going to do anything here, but at least we got something to look at. I'm still kind of catching my breath, kind of. So what we have now is 49.75 and 2600. Does that look about right? Yep, that looks exactly right. So let's get over here to the Hedge Looney Tooney. So we have 49.75. This is the IB, huh? 75, 49.75. And so far the low is 2600, looks like. And the point here is that this will calculate the zones, which are these zones, 25, 50, 75. And those are important levels with the Hedgeful data. So let's look at the buy rejection. Remember I said which formed first? So the IB high formed first. It's a 1 hour orb. This period of time. So far, weekdays to use Monday. And this is Monday's trade. So great, good for us. But I see something that we need to change here. And that's this opening ending zone, because that the orb hasn't formed yet, and that's another metric will pull from the chart or from where the position of the candle. So assuming that the orb, the high formed first, there's a 73% probability that we'll break the opening range low first. Oop, oop, oop. Nobody told me I was doing the wrong instrument here. Bad little, there we go. 6 months. MES. Monday. Okay, let's watch and see what happens here. And while we're at it, I'll set up the hedge, which is the ES, one contract, okay, there we go. As we get closer to this, I don't know whether I have the right windows going or not. As we get closer to the top of the hour, I'll put in those zones, and then we'll see what happens. Don't know. I haven't traded them yet. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Oh man, these guys are doing some different shit. Really? Oh, okay. What are we doing here? 45 minutes. Well, now obviously, I guess I didn't talk about it much, but this is Bookmap. These columns from right to left are the MC. This is the micro composite from IRT. This is the full session volume profile, which started plotting just now at 1700. This is the delta and the RTH volume profile, which will reset at 8:30 in the morning, and then they'll be in sync. And this is the statistics column, which I reset and calculate the statistics every morning in the pre-market at 8 o'clock. The main stream here for risk-neutral trading is 8 o'clock in the morning through 1500 every day. That's 7 hours. And we do the pre-market. I do the pre-market as a full half hour, and then we have the open. And these are the session prices, which push automatically from Bookmap. This is the full book, the full level 2, and these are the session prices, right? The last, now there's no, I keep everything super simple. That works for me. There's price, there's volume, and there's statistics, probabilities. I don't have any indicators on Bookmap or IRT. There's a POC for the full session and one for the RTH. A little different, brighter yellow. POC is nothing more than just the price at which the most contracts have traded so far in the session, which is right here. 75.38, right there, is the most contracts that have traded so far in the session. The minute one of these other prices trades, whatever, one contract higher, that's going to move there, period. The mid is, guess what? The mid, and these are the RTH and the Globex VWAP, period. The rest are just extensions of the session prices. Now, this is the mid, so we know that that's going to be one of those horizontal lines because that's 50%, right? Okay, and then we're going to have one here at 25 and down here at 25. So that's 1875. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on, nobody know. It's a little better. 43.75, that makes a little bit more sense. And 3,200. Normally, assuming I'm going to do this and continue with this, which I don't know yet, I will push these automatically from IRT here to Bookmap like I do the other during the day. During the RTH session, the initial balance, the statistics are all pushed from IRT, so I don't have to be drawing all these lines, doing all this stupid stuff. And they have labels on them, like right, and they label like this. This happens to be one of the prices, session price. Now remember, the statistic says that there's a 35 or something percent probability, 70%. With this level forming first, let's get Blue Boy over here, come on. Okay, this is our high, formed first, low formed second, or later. There's a higher probability we're going to take out the low. I can tell you that standing here watching this for the last few weeks, this will be the 4th week, several times we've done the opposite. We've come up and taken out the same as the the level that formed first. So it's a little bit, you know, that's why I'm going real slow here. And if it doesn't look to me like there's an opportunity, then I'm not going to keep doing it. I'm not doing this for my health, you know. I got other thing. I got to finish mowing the back lawn, in the backyard. But I would like to take a trade in each one of these sessions, basically 3 a day, or 4, but 3 a day, and that would be great. I think that would work well and not be any pressure, and that would be a long deal. And what miser, goofy. So there you go. There you have it. And we've got about 9 minutes to go. So let's keep poking around over here. Opening range high. One of the issues that I'm having is this zone. I don't think it's enough time, but here's my logic. I don't want to have statistics. I don't want to be leaning on statistics. Or, for example, the Asia session. Well, or the, if we wanted to call this the Globex, right? I don't want to be leaning on some statistic that happened at 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to be leaning on the statistics for this particular session, which is 2 hours. Now, maybe it's a waste of time, but that's what I'm trying to see. Now, let's watch these numbers and see what happens here when I go to this Globex. The reason I have to do, or I believe, the reason I need to do a session like this is it's Monday in Asia. It's not Monday over here. And maybe that's part of the problem. Now, look at the difference. Monday, 5 minutes, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. IB form first, only 18% probability that they're going to do the low, and there's been no breaks in 6 months on the high. This kind of data makes me crazy. This makes me kind of crazy. Let's look at something here. What's the UTC? I think it's +9. Okay, that's Tokyo. That's Tokyo. Let's look over here and let's set up our. Let's set this up to Tokyo. Okay, so what time is this in the morning? 7 o'clock. And that's correct. So 7 to 9. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? I'll get this back too. I don't know what to think about that. That's weird. I don't know what to make of it. If I use this one, which is Asia, Monday, that ought to be all correct. But look at this. Let's see if we can do break by weekdays. Or if it, yeah, look at there. It does by weekdays too. Instead of when I do the Globex, it doesn't work right. Watch, it'll do the non-fetch. again. Watch there. It'll say can't fetch up there where it says loading. So here we have it. There's a 9% breakout. That's to the upside. An 18% breakdown. And no double breaks is 72%. And actually, that is a pretty valid statistic that I've watched over the last 4 weeks. Very, very, very frequently, the orb didn't break. Let's look. Here you go. There's the end of the orb. Doesn't break out. Only breaks after Asia comes in. There's one. Well, this one broke out. Didn't break out. Didn't break out. Now, one of the things that didn't break out. One of the reasons that I started doing this was a fellow that trades kind of one of the front men for Hedge, trades these, but I've noticed the difference, and I think it could be my problem. Typically, he's doing the NQ, not the ES. It may be my selection, my instrument. I might have to change the instruments. The reason I haven't done that is it's when I was tracking the NQ and the MNQ, you may not know it, but the volume on the MNQ is 3 times higher than the ES, the MES, or the NQ. And it goes from 700 megabytes for the session to storage of a gigabyte. I mean, it's incredible. When I can subscribe to them easily, and then track them. But I think that's one of the problems I'm having here is, like, for example, the percentage, the probabilities there's going to be no breakout in the orb. I'm going to stop looking at this Globex orb. But what we can do over here is, which is the fun part about it, Edge phone. Let's look at the MNQ. Ooh. Let's look at the MNQ. MNQ. Buckle my shoe. There we go. Aha. Still a pretty high number of no breaks, but at least more substantial. Let's see what happened on Tuesday. Oh, look at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, baby, in this session. So perhaps the NQ is where I need to lean if I'm going to do this. And I don't know about that. The problem being the volatility, right? So let's jump over here to TradingView. And I'll tell you, this TradingView is something I had never monkeyed around with at all. And it is so flippin' handy. It is so much more handy than IRT or Bookmap. Hold on. I'm having a sneeze-a-thon over here. I don't think there's anybody in the stream, so okay, great, no problem. Yeah, I'd be less formal about what I'm doing here and more just yeah, okay, good. So there we go. There's the top of the hour. Bing, bang, bong. Well, that is the orb. Orbity, dorbity, borbity. Now, let's slap this over here at 1800. There we are. Okay. Now, we have not... One of the things that we need to determine here is the ending zone, and I'm going to say that it is in the 50 to 25 to 50 range, and how you determine that is the following. Where am I? Okay, yeah. The ending price right here of the last candle in the range. So here is the final, here's the closing price. Now this candle is going to close outside the orb, right? And it's going to take out the low, it looks like. So here is, and the way you assign the percentages is you start opposite the first level formed. First level formed was the high, so you go 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. And if I'm not mistaken, that is in the 50 to 75. So you jump over here and buy rejection, Monday, and then we're going to go customize, and we're going to put this in right here, which is 50 to 75, right there. Watch this. Oh, big difference. And we don't have any instances of any of these others in 6 months. %, we're going to get the low. Jesus, this is ridiculous, isn't it? We've broken out the low. We have taken the low already, just by a tick over here. And this one over 2 years says we've got a higher probability of taking the orb high. Ridiculous. So let's look. We have taken the low right here, I think. Yes. Low was broken right over there. Okay. Now the next order of business would be the following the data idea. The next order of business is we've taken the low. What's the retracement? So we've taken the low, which is a breakdown. There's a 52% probability we're going to pull back to the 25 zone, and the 22 will make it to the 50. So what I would suggest to do then is interpolate between the two of those. And if it gets right up here around the 50 or a little bit above it, wait a minute, the 50's here. Hold the phone. Nobody move. Hold it, I got it. That doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, it does, I guess. This is the close up here. So this is the low, or the orb low, 25, 50, 75, $1, right? So what we need to do is get it up in here somewhere. I'm guessing the previous low, to go short, to put a short on, if that's the thinking for this trade. Now we've got another hour to go until the Asia session starts. So that's how you do this. That's how the workflow is, as I understand it. We're going to We start with the broad one. We figure out what's going to happen first. What's the probability of that? In this case, the high was formed first. The low was the first break. And now we've broken down, so we want to see what the probability of retrace are based on these exact 2-year data, right? Let's see if we can get some closer data. Okay, closer data is we have 38%, 27%, and then 5. So I would want to see this over the 50 in order to feel comfortable about it. And what I'm going to do right now is something. So we're at one price high, $1 high, and there's Blue Boy. Without question, we know that this is the total range. This is the total session so far. What is it? It's a chop fest. Let's get over here and look at IRT. It's a little easier, maybe. Oop, doop, not you. Well, yeah, here is the orb so far. This is New York or U.S. This red, green is London, and then gold is the typically is the session. This is a full session chart, but in this case, I try to keep the colors consistent between Bookmap and IRT and all that. So the high and low, or the IRT or the orb or the IB are green, and the VWAPs are this purpley color, and the developing volume point of control is yellow, and you know, try to keep it consistent if I can. Hi Panda, how are you? Yeah, I'm gonna break it some more, and they didn't even get near the 25, so that's not, in my opinion, that's not a high probability trade. We keep breaking through the low, but there's no trade here. There's no trigger or setup. It's got to get up here to 50. I thought you were serious for a minute. Okay, well, let's see. Outside it looks all's quiet on the western front there, I guess. That, yeah, here we go. Well, this is kind of what's been happening. Now, they did break out, which is... a bit unusual. There's different ways to look at this stuff, of course. Here's the the opening range close, right? And here we were at that point above. We were right on the 50. Well, do you bet on the come for the low breakout and get short? I didn't, of course. Does the data support that? I don't think so. Let's see, that's not really the, what we want to look at is here. That's not much to look at, is it? See, this is completely backwards now. Well, let's make sure that I've got my opening range, because this ending zone has a huge... Hey, Magic, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Happy Father's Day if you are, and if you're not, get out there and do something about that. Yeah, I'm just... I actually wasn't really thinking about this stream today. And then I got an email from AMP that they raised all the margins up to 50% of maintenance, or up to maintenance. Well, that is an indication from the CME that they're expecting some fireworks as far as the volatility. So I figured I would get the stream going, even though I was not quite up to it. It was a crunch on time, you know. But anyway. And now we're I'm trying to figure out what's going on as far as data here. Anyway, this ending zone over here is a big deal, and that, I'm pretty sure I got it right. That's the ending zone right at the 50, just within the 50. Let's say that the ending zone is the 25 to 50 and see what that does for the statistics instead of 50 to 74. Six percent. This doesn't make any freaking sense. Because the opening range high was formed first. 6% were going to break out over 2 years. So no, there's no way I would short that. I would take a short even though it worked out. So yeah, the data's not there as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm going to see where we go with the data, with with this one. And see, let's see what that does. Let's see what happens here. No, this is not correct, right? So this is not 1900 here yet, so. But I was just curious. I think there's something with my... Well, if you're hungry now, we can do that. Whatever you want to do, huh? Okay. Fine with me. No problem. Up to you there, boss. Well, yeah. I don't see any news about anything particular here, but I thought I'd do this stream. Hope everything's going good with you, man. As trading view is this is Friday, right? There's no way I can scrub Thursday and Friday out of here that I know of. I scrub it on IRT, but I don't know if you can here or not. I'm not going to bother trying either. It doesn't really matter to me. Yeah. Interesting weekend. Worked my ass off, actually. Honeydew stuff, you know, switching out shower valve cartridges and the lav cartridges and diffusers and all that, and then the weekly yard extravaganza. Which is all fine. I don't mind any of that. I'm glad I know how to do it, and B, I'm glad I enjoy doing it. I was a general contractor once upon a time. My son still is. So, you know, doing all that kind of stuff is pretty much no-brainer. It's funny, the building here, because everything in Florida or wherever I am, Texas, is pretty much slab on grade. Why, I'm not really sure, but slab on grade. I guess high water table, but all the, you know, the air handlers and the hot water heaters are all up in the attic. It's pretty interesting. Most of the houses, including this one, have a nice, real handy. You just pull this thing down and it'll, you know, stairs fold out and whatever else, but still it's pretty strange for me. I'm used to basements and stuff. So, you know, if you're going to pull the shower valve out, obviously you turn off the main outside, and because there's no interior shutoffs really, but got to clamber up in the attic and shut off the hot water so that the it doesn't siphon. Well, they're just going to keep fussing around here. I'm assuming, I was expecting, I mean, not that 25 points is anything to sneeze at, but I was expecting some fireworks when I saw the AMP was raising the margin rates for no reason. I mean, they do that with automatically with 4 reports the night before. Any 4 reports. PMI. I'm sorry. PPI, GPI, CPI. Sorry. FOMC. And non-farm payroll. But this is nothing today, so yeah. I mean, no news or anything like that, so I assumed incorrectly that it was going to be a there was going to be some kind of drama. This is tomorrow. There's no, we got the CFTCs and only one Fed Walker speaking. We got a talking Fed and some stuff at 1400. So I was assuming there would be some fireworks here. I don't know. Sterling slips. Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anything that would prompt that, but they're spooked about something. Now, I wish the hell I'd have shorted, of course, and then just be back here all fat, dumb, and happy, but that's not one of the structured trades, so that's not going to happen. That's good enough, I think. Well, let's see what's going on here now. No move up. Ow. Okay. Okay. This is pretty weird. That makes exactly no sense to me. However, I assume it's accurate. And what that says is don't trade them. You know, pretty obvious. Well, I'll tell you, this ending zone really has a lot to do with a lot. Watch this. Just make it all days with nothing. Not really a lot here, but you know, better than 3% or whatever the hell it says. I have a nagging feeling I'm not doing this something wrong. I want to be sure I'm not doing something wrong. 6 months is nothing. No data. I wonder. There's only one instance where the IB was formed first 10 times, and only one instance where the IB high broke out, and none of the, oh no, I'm sorry, one of the orb low. Well, today's another one, so there's two. I don't know. And it's selling down, obviously. But there is no, pull back to the 25 is certainly not a statistic. I mean, it is a statistic, but it's not something that I have found to be very interesting for a trade. At least, especially, got to get over it a little bit. Let's see what happened there. So in a year, MES, this doesn't use the ending zone at all. Break it down. Well, that's not so bad. Yeah, there's a 53% probability we're going to pull back to the 25. Okay. And I guess you could say we did that. Because here is the low. And there's the 25%. So let's make sure that that's the case in TradingView. Well, I must have just missed it. I'm a dork. No. Here's the difference. This is a 15-minute chart. That doesn't make any sense. Let's check 5 minutes. How could that have such an effect? Maybe I'm just dumber than dirt. Well, here is technically the breakout on a 5 minute, which is usually what I'm watching. Pulls back to the 25 exactly, which could have justified an entry. So much for the 15-minute charts. I was thinking that it was a better view. Now the 15-minute chart or this bar here is could be You know, if Monkey Boy convinces you to trade, a probability to front run, but strictly by the numbers, pulled back to the 25%. That was a satisfied statistic, and then off it goes. So, I guess note to self: don't have them on 15 minutes anymore. That would be 53% probability we get back to 50, and there's only 21 we get up to the 50%. So, you know, that would have been a stat. Well, this is a nothing burger for me now, and we're going to be closing in on the on Asia. So I'm going to get rid of all these stats except Blue Boy, which stays on always. And and we'll see what happens with the Asia. Which is at 1900. Hey, Bandit. Baby. Okay. Oh boy, what a day. Excuse me. Well, I think I'm pretty much rehydrated now. My eyes are focusing and everything. So good for me. Hotter than stink out there today. It was like 90 some a million degrees or something. 90 a million. Is that a scientific? Look at us go. Well, you know, having shorted. Well, never mind. That rear view mirror crap is so deceptive, you know. I really, obviously, as a part of homework and learning, you need to review, just like I've been looking at these levels and looking at the data and thinking about, well, okay, so is that justified there or not? Front running, for example. But the guys that are all busy talking about what they knew to do, and that rear view mirror stuff is dangerous. Real dangerous. Billions of taxpayer dollars out the window. Wow. Really crazy. Now tired is hitting me. There's that low, by the way, of course. The hell is that about? Just looking at it, it's would have been a beauty, huh? This is a mistake. I mean, this would have been a valid, more or less valid edgeful trade with a retrace to the 25, given the data. Right there. I probably wouldn't have taken it, even though had I been looking at the right candle configuration, because typically I've found out, or I've noticed, I think, shorts, especially in the IB. Now I can't say it about the OB or the OR. Shorts typically want to see a pullback to the 50. These are the 25, and wouldn't that be lovely? $10 or 12 points so far. That's pretty nice. And you know, we're looking at what now? 50 or 40 handle IB, 40 handle range so far in this session. Where are they going back here? Let's see if we're getting somewhere. Oh, well, there's the big craziness for back on Wednesday. There's the low of the last little while. Are they going to try to get down there and hit that? Because don't forget, this is the holiday right here. So this was the last trading day. Day before, in other words. Last trading day, and there's the day before. There's that big dump. The big sell-off on the Fed rate, when, you know, Warsh giving his big speech about how he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and that's what the market thought about it. This little white guy right here, that little nub, that's where we're trading right now. Get another pitcher of water here. Yeah. See, I'm not sure what's going on with the house and everything, whether we're going to have a nice dinner and a little bit of a relax or what. Whether we're going to be into the Asia session here pretty quick, so I'll switch over to Edgeful stuff and we'll start watching for that. Get to the standard by weekday. Well, there's what we've got for the standard by weekday, and this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Look at that, isn't that something? Look at there. %, we're going to get a breakout. 19% it'll break down, and a double breaks 40 again. 0 no breaks in 1 year. MES. In this zone, which is going to start in another 3 or 4 minutes. Session, not zone, sorry. Disregard this at the top up here. This is part of the what's in play from over here. And you can't, this is a 15-minute opening range. Well, I can't make that any different. I mean, the max you can get is 30. So. Man, now I'm going auto yawn now. That's my body picked up all of the rehydrated, and now I'm on the collapse mode. I hope it's good wherever you are, Magic. If you're around or if you just dropped in to say hi, that's cool too. These Globex streams are boring to tears, but I really want to get to a situation where assuming there's a trick, and I missed this one today, absolutely, because of that having the wrong candle configuration set up in Trading View, which is interesting. You need to, I realize that it's important to have the candle timing the same in everything. I thought it was pretty well covered by wick. The difference is, you see, if you have it by close, well then obviously it's a big difference. But the candle timing is much less important if you are using breakout criteria by a wick, in other words, highs or lows. And I didn't think about that when I was looking at the 15 minutes. I saw somebody else doing it, I'm pretty sure. And I thought it looked like a good idea at that time, but I can tell you right now that it cost me right here a short. In alignment with the data, and now up about 12 points and no heat whatsoever. So that's note to self, oops. All right, there's that big 1900. And let's slap the vertical there. There we go. So that's the beginning of the Tokyo session, which is what we have right here. And if we skedaddle over here to Trading View, you can see it's starting to plot right there. Little gold guy right there. Now I gotta change the dashboards here from the one that we just finished. Tokyo. Oh. So far we're 9 points. Wow, look at it go. Yeah, and 9 points I was going, boy, that seems pretty drastic. And then I look at what's happening over here and look at what we're doing. So are they going to take it up here and we short it? I would love to have some sort of a statistic figured out where I could start taking these real. And well, just for example, okay, so what would have been a signal to short right here? Boom. Or here. Now, I don't have any statistical data about that or anything from, you know, any kind of backup stuff or reporting. So I'm not going to do that. But wouldn't that would be a pleasure. And I've always thought that would be the great thing to do. The closest I've ever seen anybody come to actually trying to trade those kind of things are the opening range trades where they're just doing a minute. Opening range breakouts. And they don't usually ever do that on ES. Usually it's on the NQ or gold or crude. Or they just, you know, the high or low of the first 1 minute, and they'll put an entry long above it and a short below it, and whichever one hits, there we go. The thing you got that I believe is really important to keep aware of is the risk management. Usually that's being done by somebody like Hogue or somebody that's trading a top step account, which is obviously not real money, and or maybe it is, but it's not his real money, and so if he risks, well, just look at here. There's 17 points right there. Boom. 15. Call me a liar. 15 points. Right back up here. Now, VPOC migration lower, mid, Globex VWAP shorted, right? Why did that happen? And why did they do that? Why did they get it right back up to there? But that's 30 handles. So if you're doing even, a couple of contracts, they never do micros, but that's a lot of risk. 30 points. And those are points too, that aren't ticks. Get myself another jug of that water. Or see what Mom's got up her sleeve for dinner. Maybe there's a glass of wine in my future. It shows you what a good idea shorting would have been, huh? Well, what the hell is that for? What brought that on? Let's see. Well, I mean, there's obviously news from this, Japan Central Bank and stuff, but that's got nothing to do with the ES. So that's not applicable as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know. This has got something to do with something else. And right to the 50, right? Now remember, this is the holiday noise that I can't get rid of here. Thursday night, Friday morning, noon. I think, isn't it? Oh no. Sorry. The hell is this? Yeah, that's right. So this is all that holiday horse stuff. Bullpucky. I'm gonna go see if Mama needs some help in the kitchen. I'll be right back. Man, I'm standing here talking all this time and I've been on mute, I think. All right, well, I'm going to go step away and have that dinner and have a lovely dinner. Wagyu ribeye and a glass of red wine and who knows what else. Yeah, so here we are so far. There's the rejection. The orb was, the opening range low was definitely put in first, right here. Confirmed over here. Confirmed over here. There's the low and there's the high, and ever the twain shall meet. 14.5. Did I get it right? Not very, not close enough. Or 14.5. No, I have it at 14. There we go. There we go. Okay. So watch her play out. Well, what are they doing? Still up, huh? Okay. Back into the range from from Thursday. Sorry. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, there's the previous RTH low. That's from Thursday. So what's going on now? Okay. Well, we don't have the orb formed yet, but the low's in first, the high's up here. So far we're trading in what would be the 0 to 25% ending zone range, assuming they stay there. So let's look at what goes on over here. The low was formed first, so we got a 78% probability we're going to break the high with all zones. And I think that if I, for grins, let's see what. Oh, now it's 92%. So that's a pretty big, you see the big difference in these in this ending zone thing. It has quite an interesting final filter kind of. So this is a case where you could probably, a trader, I could probably consider a breakout. I mean, a front run, you know. Let's, what do I mean by that? Well, if we pull back around here someplace, front run the high. Now, what have we got? We've got 31 handles. So we've got 7 and change points between each of these zones. Remember, these are the high and the low. I mean, the high and the low, and then these are 25, 50, 25, right? So 31 divided by 4. Damn near 8. Points per level. So if you got down here in the 25s and you got long and just targeted the eye, that would be basically 8 points, an 8-point pop. The statistics, the theory behind the statistics is to not do that, to take the retrace as the entry, and that boils down to the retrace would be 67% probability. I'm sorry, 59% probability that we retrace from the I. If we break the IB high, we'll retrace to the 25. 34% we would retrace to the 50% line, or percent of the range. In other words, if we break the IB high, the orb high, then there's a 50% percent probability we'll pull back to here, and 30% we come to the 50, or whatever those stats were. 67. Oh, wait a minute. 59 and 34. And then you can have levels as targets above that, which are pieces of the standard deviations above or below. Now, if you're just looking at this, this is lower highs and lower lows. So that's sell the rips, right? So if you sold this one, boom. Sell this one, who knows? But you know, if you know what I mean, that's another kind of logic. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you get too screwed in too tight on the candles. I mean, you know, on these zones and this timing. And this is still 15 minutes here. But something, okay, I was going to say something's wrong here. Yep, you're right, something's wrong. Something's very wrong. And that's because it wasn't jammed in too tight. So you see here we are back up here. Okay. That's a problem with IRT. If you get it screwed in too tight, it won't update. Or, I don't know, it's just IRT or whatever, but it was going, wait a minute, something doesn't look right here. We were down here, and that looked like lower highs and lower lows. And I look over here, and I see, wait a minute, this is not the case. It was the case until Asia opened. And now it's up, and away. And here's the, you know, we're heading for the high up here pretty quick. And we've got about 12 minutes or so for this orb to be in place. And I'm getting to that point which happens during these streams that I'm getting tired, and I have a 4:30 wake-up call, so I kind of have to really think about what I will do here. You know, would I take a trade? Well, I have three possibilities, I guess. Take a trade and manage it till whenever in the middle of the night, which is not a possibility for me anymore. Or have the pre-understood conviction with myself that when it's time for the, you know, 8:30 or 20:30, when it's time to wrap the stream up and get ready for hit the hay so I can get up in the morning, just close it off wherever it is, win, lose, or draw. And that's not a very good idea. That's not very palatable to me. We'll see. They're trying to do my my chores and keep this stream going and watch the market all at the same time. This wake up daily schedule keeps flip-flopping around. I'm not sure how long. Hopefully they'll settle her schedule down. So we had it, you know, all plumbed up, and now seems like every week they're flipping it around. So tomorrow's going to be 4:30 wake up, and then I don't know, something else. You know, it is every week. Okay, got all my chores done. What happened? Well, we've just put in the IB, or whatever you call it, the OB. Obeast. Good enough, I guess. Wait a minute. Why didn't that lock? So there's our print. Let's see what we've got for closing range beauty over here. Well, there's the closing print. Very definitely it's in the 0 to 25, so, and we've already broken out the high, which is 55s, right? The 55s. I'm way behind the curve here now. I was busy running around doing stuff. So the high is 55. Huh? Okay. Let's quickly look at IRT, it's easier. Yeah, so we got 55 and 14.5, that's right. Okay, so what are my zones now? 55 and 14.5. Oops. So we got 75.50 and 75, 15.5. So we have zones of 41.5. 41.5 and 32.75. And what I'm doing is slapping these over here. And 24.25. I'll do this. I should have done that this weekend. Too much to do. All right, so there are the zones. This is our hour. And here's our zones. That's the orb high for Asia, and it's been broken out. Are we going to retrace to the 25? If so, long. That's what I determined from this. So there's a 90%, hold on. Rejection, Let's get over here to customize. Yes, 0 to 25. Yep, there's a 92% probability we're going to break up. And then what we want to do is look at our retracements. Oops, I'm not showing you all the right stuff. So here we go. Shit. Given the zone, the ending zone, this is we're 92% probability we're going to take that high, which we did do. Then we're going to look over here and we're going to go to the retracement. And there's a 67% probability we're going to come back to the 25. 40 to the 50. So if it comes back here to the POC and this 25 zone, that's a long as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see. Now, what I need to really weigh is I gotta just get these zones in here and stop being a wuss. I wish I could think of an easy way to do it. Because this is not it. This ain't easy. So, anyway. Not complaining. What are we doing for volume? Ooh, baby. Okay. I can always just leave this out, right, on this particular monitor, and then trade it over here where I will be trading it anyway. And when I see what's going on over here, I can see the retrace. I can get it without drawing all these flipping lines. But I'm trying to make this as user friendly for the Creameroonie as possible. I mean, and they may be, out of the gate and on and charging. Who the hell knows? Something's up tonight. Boy, that's pretty dramatic, huh? That's 50 to 15, so there's 35 handles on the original, and then, or 13 to 38 handles. And all the way back again, plus 40 handles up, straight up, boom, down. Thank you very much. We're going north. I tell you, I think traders like, I suppose Magic probably just is trading it directionally and discretionally. Looks like a good idea. I can't do that, but it's like a good idea. So I will be, unless I'm in a trade, I'll be ending the stream at the bottom of the hour. And I learned an important lesson today, which is, I learned a couple of them. I'm a dork is one of them. I forget these chapter markers in this opening range thing. Yeah. There's a minus what? 1 hour, 6. So, 66. I keep forgetting those chapter markers. And yeah. Interesting, isn't it, that the orb high is exactly on the orb high for Globex. I have no idea what esoteric secretness that means, but you know, interesting. Well, I've got all my chores done. I've eaten a lovely dinner. I got all the house stuff fixed this weekend. Whew, I'm smoking, dude. Now I need to put some 5-figure numbers up, and I'll be back in the game here. All right, we're going to pull them back. We're going to pull them back. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Now, I want to touch base here again on the hedge. So the hedge, now just to, you know, in case we get ready to roll here, the hedge that I talk about, hedging the position, is in lieu of and at the same location as the stop would be in my typical risk neutral methodology for multi-brackets. So the way that works is, this is just in anticipation. Carole King, right? Okay. So here we go. Now, assuming we're going to enter at the 25s, we put a long here, resting limit or market of 5 micros. And let's pretend 42.5, right? Let's pretend it's, what is this? 41.5. Let's say we're going to give it down. Let's say we're going to let it pull through to 40. We'll make it 75.40, okay? This is all hypothetical. So we're going to put a limit order at 75.40. So let's say our entry price is over here at 75.40. Boom. And it's for 5 micros. You follow? Yeah, okay. I even have the right screen going. It's amazing. 5 micros. So the system automatic, oh, and it's going to be long, which is correct. Now the system, this little tool automatically adjusts the price levels in here, and and there is our entry at 75.40, 5 long base lots. Now, of course, if the market continues to go the way it should, as anticipated by the data, then it'll keep trading. We will put in a stop loss and trail it at normal trade management ideas. Assuming that it does not, the minute we enter this trade long, immediately put in a limit order at 75.37 for 5 more micros long. And here, put in a 1 contract, 1 mini short order at the same price. That's the hedge. So we would be 5 long. Say it comes down, worst case scenario, to our stop, which is 12 ticks. You can adjust that right here. It's 12 ticks, the same as in my risk neutral methodology. 3 points for 12 ticks. Instantly, another 5 long and 1 mini short. So there's 10 to 1, which is, as I hope you know, is the ratio of micros to minis. And we've improved our price a bit at 75.38 half. So our risk standing out is right here. Times 5. Then the real meat and potatoes happens with taking off which leg when. That's the key to the whole situation. And that's something I'm still struggling with learning. And I'm trying to do some math around here and have an idea of where the maximum place is. For example, if we took off, let's say that price comes down and tags us in, goes down a little bit, goes up a little bit. Once this is on the short, price can go to the moon, it can go to the floor, and we're never going to risk more than 6 ticks. Times 5, times 10. Okay, we're never going to, that's the maximum risk. Now, go up and down and up and down and up and down. Let's say it's down, comes back up, comes up through 38 half, and we take off the short at 38 half because let's say we take it off at 40 at our original entry. So let's take off the short leg at 75.40. So 75.41 half is scratch. Price has got to go all the way up to here before we're scratch even. So I'm not so sure that this whole thing makes sense to me, to be honest with you. Now, obviously, if price comes down and comes back up to here, and you have a feeling in your bones, or somebody says something that it's going to keep going, you can take it off here, and then it's, even if you take off the short here, let's do that. Let's just look real quickly. Hi, Panda. 75.37. Yeah, that's what I thought. Scratch is right here at the average price. Price has got to get from here to here to be scratched, to be dead even. What's the difference? What is the advantage? I don't know. The advantage is you don't take a hard stop on 5 contracts. you add more, and you bounce around a bunch, and then you have a fixed risk. So I guess, I don't know. What I need to figure out here in my own mind, or somebody tell me, suggest or something, math wizard. I only went a mile and a half to school, so, I would have to imagine that there is a point where it's advantageous to exit the opposite leg or the near leg or the long leg. Also, that's another one. If price falls out of bed. But you've got to get through 38.5, 39.5, 6 ticks, which isn't a lot, right? You got to get through 6 ticks to get scratched and then profitable. Hi, baby. Talking to the old machine, and you don't like that anymore? You don't like me talking to the machine? Okay. Yeah, so if you've got any brilliant ideas about this thing, let me know. Oh, here we go. Back to the. Now we're just back and forth on the. We're just back and forth to the orb high. This would be the get on. Now I'm running out of time here. And I know I sound like a wuss, but what I don't want to do is find myself in a position, and then the drama of, well, I can't do this. I've got to get some rest. I've got to recuperate from this other stuff, and I got a 4:30 wake up, which means I always wake up about 4 and then slide out of bed so I can leave mom sleep with and don't wake up the cats who happen to sleep on the bed beside her also. Being the great husband, father that I am. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to kick on anymore, right? Maybe, wait, why not? Why not? Let's see what else we've got over here. Hmm. Let's, well, excuse me, but yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. And then, yeah, I've got to close this down and then get everything set up for the main stream. So, yeah, let's let me point out once again that the normal risk neutral stream is from 8 o'clock Central Standard Time until 1500 Central Standard Time each and every trading day. So, and it is my virtual trading journal. Everything that I see here on my two primary monitors, trading monitors, are captured in the video, and my voiceover provides insight as to what I was thinking at the moment, and that adds up to a recording of the perfect, complete, detailed, transparent, and fully accountable journal, which is really, I could never do that by writing everything, you know. And we got about 2 minutes to the bottom of the hour. And I will be signing off at that point. Magic, have a good the rest of your whatever you're doing there, my brother. I'm going to be pulling the plug here at the bottom of the hour. I've got get this stream buttoned up and then get set up and scheduled for tomorrow. Got a 4:30 wake up, and yeah, I think I have all my chores done. Oh, that's pretty good. Been able to duck in and out of here, have a nice dinner, and still trying to work out the math on this Hedge story. I have got to figure out at what point, what is the maximum or the most advantageous place to take the hedge off. I think it has to do with momentum of price, but then there's got to be an automatic or a immediate stop. Once the hedge is off, there's got to be a stop put back into place, because if there's not, then it is a freaking disaster, or can be. And that's not the point. The point is de-risk rather than put risk on. All things being equal. And I see something wrong right now. Notice how there's no... see why? Now we have, oh, wait a minute. Yep, okay, now we have the proper, what I noticed was I didn't see my cancel and close up here, which is kind of, a big deal. The problem that I see, I think, is you take off the hedge. Let's say price pulls back to 40. Now you're 37 to 40, so that's 3 full points, 12 ticks. And that's where you take off your hedge. So you've lost 3 points on a one lot. Mini to here. And now, but price doesn't continue, and you take it off and you're all excited. Price doesn't continue, it starts back down. So you're losing on the 5 lot, and you're not gaining any positive side on the hedge because you've just taken it off. So you could have lost 3. Well, here you go. Comes up here, you take it off. Price reverses back down here real fast. You've lost 6 points on a 10 lot. Oh, on 2 10 lots, I'm sorry. On 2 minis. That's unacceptable risk. I mean, I've got to figure out a better way around that. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to do is it's 10 or whatever it is. 2033, I am going to bid you a fond farewell. Have a great evening. Remember, risk neutral trading, 8 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time. All the pre-market, pull the statistics together, analyze what we've done overnight, and then get ready for the trade in the morning. So get away from the screens, rest your eyes, rest your brain. Remember that you are the most critical tool you've got in your trading office, and you need to take real good care of it. Well rested, well hydrated. Don't be on emotional tilt. Give your eyes some break from the screens. And I'll see you in the morning at 8 o'clock. Well, 12 hours from now. 7.5 hours from now. Huh. So there you go. I'm sorry. 11.5 hours from now. All right. Magic, if you're still around, adios, my brother. Have a great rest of your Sunday, wherever it is. And